programs that were designed.
We interrupt Senator McCain's address at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, Louisiana for this breaking news. Senator Barack Obama is, as of this hour, the presumptive Democratic nominee for President of the United States. As the polls close in South Dakota, NBC News projecting Obama has cleared the plateau, the 2,118 delegates needed to clinch. This, as NBC News is characterizing South Dakota as too early to call, but with Senator Clinton leading in the exit polling. Yet between the 4.5 superdelegates declaring for Senator Obama at this hour and the minimum of 6 elected delegates he will get from South Dakota, the news again at this hour, Barack Obama is the presumptive Democratic nominee for President of the United States. At MSNBC and NBC News World Headquarters in New York, alongside Chris Matthews, I'm Keith Olbermann, and American history has met the 2008 presidential campaign.
You know, I think around the world, this is a news story. And among the 6 billion people on this planet, I think tomorrow morning, everywhere in the world, in a few hours in Europe and in Africa, in Cape Town, in Nairobi, in everywhere, Bangladesh and Asia, this is a huge story because in the world dominated by European powers, forever it seems, this is the first time that a major political party anywhere in that world has nominated an African American to lead their country. In fact, a person of color. This is a unique, perhaps trend-setting change in our planet. This is a big story for everybody. There's kids, 15-year-old kids right now in Kenya waking up and reading the paper. They're excited. Barack Obama with a name like that, a familiar name in much of the world, but not here. They're saying something's up, and they're cheering.
And even in the context of not just of the world of today, but of the world of the past, the country of the past 140 years, 145 years, of all the extraordinary turmoil in this nation about the issue of race. This may not be, as you pointed out last hour, this may not be the resolution by any stretch of the imagination of this constant friction on this subject in this country. But what a culmination of this road to this point this represents. If you go back from the earliest arguments in the Continental Congress about what to do about the issue of slavery in this country,
right,
and then throughout the independence process and the constitutional process and the early years of the democracy, the Civil War, Reconstruction, the bailing out of Reconstruction, the 1876 deal that sentenced this country to Jim Crow. I mean, the extraordinary things that lead up to this moment really do provide that context that puts the tingle up your spine for all of this nation's history and for what's yet to come.
I was lucky to be there when South African blacks were allowed to vote for the first time, where you had a true general election. I was with Bishop Tutu, a man of my age now, getting to vote for the first time, Archbishop Tutu, and I was with him. We had him wired. And he walked into that polling place and he said, this is a personal thing for me. This isn't just my people. This is me. I get to be a grown-up. I get to be a citizen now. He said this about this, what was going to happen tonight, last week, for the Chicago Tribune. He talked about the problem of being an African-American, how he was always stunned coming over here from the 70s. He'd say, you're equal, so what's the problem? And he said, you know, there is this thing out there. It is the institutional equality, but... He said, when I first came to this country in '72, I was quite shaken, actually, by the intensity of feeling that African Americans had. And I said I couldn't understand. Why are they so bitter? Why are they so angry? There in South Africa under apartheid, they told you, you're nothing. And we're going to treat you like you're nothing. You are. And don't ever hope to think you're going to have a chance of being treated differently. And here in America, he said he found this. People said, you're equal. The sky's the limit. But they kept bumping their heads against this thing that's stopping them from reaching out to the stars. And he said all this, and then he said this wonderful statement about our country and Barack Obama. This is Archbishop Tutu, who was one of the people who fought against apartheid. You've got all that going against you, and yet you produce Obama. Where else in the world would you ever have had anything like that? I mean, an African-American being not just a credible candidate, but one who has galvanized. I mean, the number of young people who've come out and said, yes, we think it is actually possible to have a different kind of society. Only here. And this is Archbishop Tutu looking at us and seeing the profound historic importance of tonight.
And the promise, out of so many promises that were unfulfilled, one of the promises that we can proudly say in this nation has to some degree been fulfilled in a very symbolic way tonight. We'll see what the practicalities of it are in the next months to come. But in one sense, we have hurdled yet another barrier that many nations failed to do, and this nation failed to do so many times. It is an extraordinary moment.
And I hope now we face an equal contest in terms of ethnicity, because everything else is on the table. Who's the best qualified? Who has the experience? Who will lead us in the right direction? All that's on the table. But I've got to hope that ethnicity's not. That what's on the table now is who will be the best leader for all of us. It would be nice if that were the case.